Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, YouTubers. This is Jerry Diamond with How to Get Out of Babylon. And I gotta take my shoes off. Getting grounded. Sorry. Give me a minute. I know it's noisy. I want to talk while the wind is not blowing. It's not too noisy and it doesn't blow my tripod and camera over, my phone over. Okay. Get grounded. I got things on my heart that Providence has been working in my life, and that's Providence meaning God. Providence, if you look at the word Providence, what does it mean? Provide. It means video, to see for other people. And that's what we're supposed to be doing in this world. In 1 Timothy 5:8 it says, if a man provide not for his own house, if a man provide for his own, especially they of his own house, he is worse than an unbeliever. It's windy, so I don't know if it's going to be affecting this. It's blowing toward me, so it might not affect the lands. I could bring my I need a windbreak. That's what I need. Anyway, if a man provide not for his own, especially they of his own house, okay, he's worse than an unbeliever. And to me, that's always meant looking at the word. Now, the word that's the word in English, okay? Provide. Okay. In English, that comes from the Latin pro video, to see for other people. Not ahead of time. It kind of does, because it means you got to envision what's going on in the future. It's part of that, but it's to see for other people. Now, there's an example of that in Scripture. In Chronicles, it says that the men of Issachar were men of understanding, who had understanding of the times and knew what Israel ought to do. And what did they say Israel ought to do? What did they lead Israel to do? They gathered to King David, and that was God's will. He was the greatest king over all of Israel, and that's what we need today: is men who are kings, men and women who are kings and queens. We can be the kings and queens of anything we want to be. That's a song from Carnival of Narnia. The soundtrack from one of the movies. Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, I don't know which one. But anyway, we can be the kings and queens of anything we want to be. And, we're supposed to be leaders. We're supposed to change the world. We're supposed to envision a different track, and a different time track, a different future. And that's what I've been doing since I became a believer, but especially since 1980. 1980, I had a picture burned into my brain. Where I'm sitting here there's a tree line. I'll span this around. Not a tree line, but there's a pasture, and there's a ravine over there, and then there's a road and a tree line at the far side. Not a lot like this, but what I saw was a open field, or a pasture, what I call a pasture. And this was just a still shot in my mind. I've said it many times before, but I'm going to describe it one more time. Who knows when it'll be the last time. And against that tree line was a bunch of tents. There's a whole line of tents. It wasn't like a round area, just a straight line of tents. And I think they were all white. Ow. Sticker. Ooh. Ow. Okay, sorry. And what was burned into my brain, put my shoe down then. It was just, I knew, for whatever reason, you could say it was God, you could say it was just my crazy mind, my idiotic imagination maybe, but what I knew was that those people were refugees. It was logically, my mind works logically, okay? Let me tell you this. One time, I was at a place half an hour from here, in Collins, Collins. There's a bunch of people there, and a new family was there. And the guy's father's name was Bruce, and his daughter's name was Kylie. I remember that very clearly. And plane going over too. I'll speak up. And the wind's blowing really bad now. This guy said, he was telling me that my daughter and I have the same dreams every night. Same dreams. He said, we've been out in the woods, in the forest, rescuing people, bringing them in. and evading military troops. And I thought, oh, I said, I've seen that forever. I've seen that for years. This was about 2000, year 2000, 2001. And I'd seen that for a long time. At that time, I'd been seeing that. And he goes, Kylie, he yells across the room, Kylie, come here, this man has the same dreams we do. I said, hold on, don't get so excited. I said, I don't have dreams. I don't have dreams. You know, my mind just, I read history, I see history, I see God working in Scripture throughout history, of human history, you know, World War I, World War II, you know, Civil War, the Boer conflict in South Africa, you know, I see things repeated. And it's just logical assumption. I've heard a lot of personal prophecies. The world's changing, the earth is changing. If you're not aware of that, wake up. I'm not talking to a bunch of unbelievers right now. I'm talking to people who are remnant and who are part of an army that God is raising up. Okay. And some of you don't even know you've been recruited yet, but you've been going through hell for 20 years now, maybe. You've been going through hell. I know. I can name several names right now, a bunch of names. And the time for that is coming to an end, I believe. I've said that for a long time, but I mean, in my life, I think it is. And it's changing. And there's things we need to do. There's things that God's give you something in your mind. Go back to when you were a little girl or a little boy, okay? Is there something that you always wanted to do, you always dreamed of doing, you always wanted to do, or that you know, wanted to have or something? God put that in your heart, probably. You know, so if you want to touch base with me on that, you know, say, hey, I've always dreamed of doing this. Do it, you know, or be part of it, be open to it. See in your mind what is going on in the future and make it happen. There's a thing called the butterfly effect. Butterfly flaps its wings here and it creates a tornado on the other side of the world. And I see that happening right now. Things that happen here in Missouri or in Utah can affect the world in Thailand or Africa, Venezuela, Colombia, you know. So anyway, it's windy. I hope you can hear this. I don't know. I'm going to sit really close to the camera. So Father's giving you something to do. Be aware of it. Work toward it. Try. I've been trying for all these years, you know, to prepare for people to come. Now, what I'm saying here, what I'm sitting out here is, I just cleared a couple of areas for campsites. You know, something I've been in my heart to do a long time. I'm gonna put up a teepee tent. You know, I might put up a shrink wrap shelter, a underground shelter, you know, earth berm shelter. And you know, someone shows up, hey, walk down that path there and keep your eyes open to the left. You might not be able to see it because it's underground, but there's an entryway there. It's not facing the road. It's on the other side of the road, so you can't even see it. Because what I saw, let me go back to 2000. Let me go back to 1980. That picture that I had in my mind was burned into my brain that those people are refugees. The only thing that explained the tents, and it was a hodgepodge. It was different sizes and shapes. It wasn't like all the same size. Now you could have every 1,000 tents. And one time in Las Vegas, I kid you not, Las Vegas, there's a company called Shift Pod, and I want to get one of these. I really want to get one. They look like they're designed by NASA. Well, this guy had been going to Burning Man. If you know what Burning Man is, look it up. It's the playa. It's a totally flat area in New Mexico, and they call it Burning Man. And he'd been going to that for a few years, and they needed a better shelter. So this guy designed the perfect shelter. I mean, in Las Vegas, I kid you not, that's how they designed it. That's how it came about. In Las Vegas, I set up it's like 3,000 of them. Some big convention there, some party, I don't know, probably some, really weird party, I don't know. EDC was what it was, EDC, look it up. EDC Las Vegas, I don't know what year it was in, but they set up 3,000 of those, most of them on black asphalt, and 120, 100 degree heat or something like that. And they put an air conditioning system. I don't know how they did that. I have no idea. I haven't even looked into that, but they were air conditioned, so it was comfortable. The people had a great time, party, It looked like it was pretty wild, pretty weird, dancing and music and stuff. And I'm sure it wasn't a Christian operation, not by any means. But anyway, they had a good time, and they survived. They were doing good, and it was in the heat on black asphalt. If you can imagine the shelter that could do that, that's what it can do. In the wintertime, same thing. It's going to keep you warm in the winter and cool in the summer. I want one really bad. you know, something I've seen in my mind for 20 years. I've been looking for something like this for 20 years. I kid you not. I want one. So I asked them if they would donate one to my ministry. No, they're too busy. I mean, they got like 600, I don't know, 1,000 or whatever in Turkey with earthquake or whatever there. They're an emergency relief shelter. Great for that. They're good for forest fires. They use them for medical. They have one that you can be a MASH unit basically. You can wheel in 2 gurneys at the same time into it to have an improvised hospital. So I don't fault them for not getting me one, but they said every 20th sale they give one away, and I thought, well, I qualify for that. I mean, I'm trying to help people. I've been trying to help people for doing what they're doing. I've seen that in my mind, and I'm not complaining. I'm blessed by people doing that, because what they're doing is what I've envisioned. Okay, I envision something and somebody does it. I got a friend who I said one time, I said, you know, we need a bunch of young men to go out and be able to help people move here. He said, we're doing that. We've got that going, and he's done it more than I have. I've done it several times. I've actually paid for the field to go and rescue somebody from Kansas and get her here, you know. And I was told later that didn't cost me a nickel. Well, it was $100 of my money to get the fuel, pay for the fuel to get you here. So don't tell me I didn't do anything. Anyway, rewind. Rewind. Okay, so, so this one guy, you know, he says, well, we're doing that, and he did it. He came to the East Coast. He'd lent his trader somebody to go to Washington to bring stuff back, and they screwed him over just like everybody else here. They screwed him over just like they screwed me over. He said, I'm done helping people. He did it twice, and I quit. I've done it about 15 times, and you know, I'm finally quitting. I can't do it anymore because I do not have enough life force left in me to get shafted, screwed over, stolen from, stabbed in the back anymore. I'm done. So if you want to come here, come on your own nickel. In fact, send money ahead of time. And I've made that rule already. You know, if you want to come here, send me $1,000. You know, seriously. I mean, just invest ahead of time. It's not like I'm not trying to make money. I'm just saying I need to have something to be able to help somebody else. So if you want to come here, you need to bring housing or bring a place to live, trailer or something, you know, have a plan, have a place to rent, have a place to do something. But don't come here and live off everybody's nickel. You know, people that are here and have invested a couple $100,000 in their property, you want to come in here and sit down on your ass and do nothing. That is not kosher, and it's not going to play for very much longer. And we know that. My friend already understands that. I think. I don't know. Anyway, there comes a point in time when you got to get up and do something or get out. Shit or get off the pot, you know. Fish or cut bait, you know. Light the dynamite, throw it on. Now you gotta fish or talk. I don't know if you know that story. Guy's out fishing, the game warden's in the boat with him, and he's gonna bust him, you know, and he lights a stick of dynamite, hands it to the guy, he goes, you gonna fish or talk? Anyway, so 1980, I had the site in my mind. I knew they were refugees. I knew that. I mean, maybe that was just my read on it, but I felt in my heart they were refugees, and if I didn't do something to help them, a lot of them would die. So I started buying things, you know, wool, you know, tents, sleeping bags, you name it, boots, skis, ski poles, climbing gear, anything and everything that would contribute toward a practical survival for a large community. And at one point in Denver, I felt that, you know, if we had to go to the mountains, just boog out in the mountains, I could probably keep 100 people alive at that time because I had 2 teepees, I had stoves, I had a lot of gear and a lot of stuff. And if people would work together, and my contention for 23 years now has been, we need to work together. And I don't see that happening anywhere. I just see people taking, and not giving anything. So I don't know, that's bad. It's not my problem. It's my problem because it costs me every time. But you know, I'm not the one doing it. So such is life. It's gonna play out as it plays out. It's going to be very interesting to see how everything plays out in, you know, this person's life and this person's life and this person's life and this person's life. Very interesting to see. You know, it's not all over yet. I'm telling you, it's not over. You know, I had a gift given to me in 2019, and it was a large gift, monetary gift, silver. And the deal was, you know, I was told, tithe on it to one ministry, and I did that, $1,000 or whatever it was, you know, and do as much good as you can, and you know, help as many people as you can. So I did, I ended up giving a lot of it to Bill, paying, buying this and buying that, just for excuse. Hey, here's some silver. Here's a roll of silver. Here's a roll of silver. And so, but money is still in play, and it's so amazing how I just see God working. And here's the thing: is if you want to screw somebody, if you want to steal, and a lot of people around here have stolen from me, that you are stealing from Almighty God. That's just the way it is. And if you want to give, you'll be blessed. About 20,000 times over. That's what I see. 20,000 times. I can give you story after story on that. So, people that steal from me, I'm going to be blessed for that. And I see that happening. As I speak, I see that happening. So, and so it's awesome. Okay, so 1980, 10-second field. So I started buying things. All of a sudden, I became what I call the closet survivalist. So I started buying stuff and doing things and learning, studying. Learning, buying books and reading them and studying, how to keep people alive, and always with an elemental idea, basic idea. What's come down to brass tacks, come down to the rubber meets the road. Where, as J. Vernon McGee used to say, old radio preacher, Christianity and shoe leather. This is where the rubber meets the road. Christianity and shoe leather. Old Southern preacher. But anyway, so he, elemental, basic things, timeless things, universal truths is key. We're going to come down to over and over again, universal truths, okay? And one of the truths is that I see in Scripture is, don't mess with the earth. Don't steal, don't rip off, don't clear cut, don't strip mine, don't drill, don't bleed the guts out of the earth. Oil is not dinosaurs, it's the lifeblood of the earth, lubrication for the tectonic plates. We're screwing that up big time. We're going to have some big-ass earthquakes before long. Okay, so that's all another story. But what I see is in Genesis, it says, be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth, take dominion and subdue it. Okay, so two of them are directed to people. Be fruitful and multiply. We're supposed to replenish the earth, restore its life force, restore the trees, take care of the animals, be a husbandman, be a gardener, and then take dominion over everything, the fish and the fowl of the air, and subdue it. Subdue it meaning the earth. So take care of the earth, rule it, but don't rule it in a way to strip it and kill it and bleed it dry. Take care of it, replenish it. Whenever Bill cuts a tree down, he plants a tree. Or if it's in around the cabin, he cuts a tree down and he plants a tree. He got down that's weird. He got down a big tree and he planted a spruce tree. Oh, very strange. Okay, shut up. Harbinger. Read the book The Harbinger by Jonathan Cahn. The cedar tree's been cut down, but we were... No. The cedar trees have fallen, but we will replant with Erez. The bricks have fallen, but we will rebuild with stone. Anyway, pride, arrogance against God, fighting against God. I don't know. Anyway, so cedar. Look that up. Isaiah 9. All right. So my point is that I became a closet survivalist, buying things, learning things, and then by 1993, I was so discouraged and worn out. I was tired of doing it, and the only person doing it, only person I knew of, only person, period. And so I actually prayed, Father, I'm going to quit. I'm tired of this. I'm lonely and depressed. I'm tired. I'm worn out. So I'm going to quit doing this. I'm going to get a job. I tried not to ever have a job. My wife and I wanted to be free, so we didn't want to have a chain around our neck to a job or to a house. So we didn't buy a house. We didn't get a job. We were, sales, marketing, service, janitorial work, working casual on docks. We didn't ever want to be locked into the system, and it worked for us. So anyway, I was like, I'm going to quit. I'm going to get a job. I'm going to be normal. I'm going to get a house, get a job, and be normal. Boom. No, you're not. I got work for you to do. Boom. I woke up. Brady, Bill, and Bush, and all that good stuff. Waco. I missed Waco. I missed um, Ruby Ridge. I missed that one. You know, I mean, I don't know how because I was reading Soldier of Fortune and stuff, but I didn't pay any attention to it. I don't know. I have no idea. But 1993, boom, it all hit me. You know, that just happened recently. Well, you know, Ruby Ridge was first, and then Waco, 92ish, whatever. So I woke up in 93 and started reading about it, and you know, getting all freaked out. And from that time, we turned the TV off. Broncos didn't mean it was on TV. We just turned it off. We didn't watch no more TV. Watched videos, learned, went to meetings, went to Prophecy Club meetings. Stan Johnson in Topeka, Kansas. You know, running out of Topeka, Kansas. And we were in Denver, but you know, went to every Prophecy Club meeting. Went to every Patriot meeting, every militia meeting, and just it was totally changed our life. We started getting real serious. We'd make every week we would buy a whole pack of like 10 videotapes at Walmart, and then dub them off, make good videos that we saw of people, and cassette tapes. You know, 100 big pack of cassette tapes, high-speed dubbing, and when it got to DVDs, we started doing that. But you know, Xeroxing stuff. So anyway, so I wasn't going to quit, and God had something else for me to do. So then, 7 years later, Shemitah, 2001, my son and I, my oldest son Ian and I were set up to do fiber optics, and we were going to be able to make $30,000 to $40,000 per month. I don't know what that would have done to me, but it didn't happen because of 9/11. You know, World Trade Center went down and all that, everything that happened there, and so we've been doing Y2K. You know, Pilgrims Products. You can look up Pilgrims Products online. It's still, the website is still up because it wasn't a paid website. Pilgrims Products with look up British Berkfelds and look up cylinder stoves out of Cedar City, Utah. The website's still up. You can look at it. That's proof that what we did that year. We became bigger. Actually, they said we were supposed to be national distributors, and they gave us all the dealers. All new dealers would be under us. Didn't happen. They didn't give us a single one. Cabela's got a lot of our sales, so we ended up missing Cabela's by one sale. Awesome year, heck of a year. So anyway, when YQD didn't happen, then my son and I started going to gun shows. You know, trying to sell, you know, prepper stuff, prepper survival stuff at gun shows. A lot. You can do that, but you know, we didn't have enough of a base. We didn't have a website that was really functioning. You know, you could look at the website, but you couldn't buy anything. It wasn't functioning, and we didn't have a store. We had mail order going, but didn't have enough of it going. People were calling us wanting to return stuff that they bought during the year. So anyway, so we're going to gun shows, and then that bombed out. Wouldn't make enough money. So friends of ours had to transition from Y2K stuff right into garden art, rusty and powder coated garden art. Their cousin had a metal shop, and they made stuff. So we started working for them. They do it on Saturday. We did Saturday, Sabbath. They did Sunday. So we take care of it on Sunday. They take care of it on Saturday, and they give us all the money. We're doing that, and my wife was a midwife, and she was taking care of this lady and staying at a church 3 hours from home. She was staying there for about a week or two, I think, waiting for the mom to give birth, because she didn't want to be able to have a problem where you had to drive for 3 hours to get there, you know, and have her in labor. So she just stayed at the dormitory, and I was there, and it's the middle of the night, and we, you know, do what married people do at 3 o'clock in the morning or whatever, and I'm panting, I'm wide awake, my eyes are wide open, I'm sitting up in bed, like with my elbow up, I remember that, and all of a sudden, I'm in a different place. This was not a dream. I was not, my eyes were not closed. I wasn't dreaming, and my eyes were wide open, like I said. And I'm looking like this, and with my eyes wide open, I see, suddenly I'm in a forest, in an area, not a pasture, but it's like, and I see a young couple coming toward me through the woods. And each of them was one was holding a little boy's hand, and one was holding a little girl's hand. And I instantly knew that they were refugees, and they were looking for some place to stay. They were hoping for help and food and shelter. They had the clothes on their back, and that was it. I knew that. And all of a sudden, I look over this way, and toward my right, I see a door. I'm like, wow. And the door was like against a hillside, but above it was a hill. There's no visibility at all. If they had walked to their left and to my right, they would have. Oh, don't fall. There's a 8-foot drop here. There's a door down there. There's a welcome mat out and a sign on the door that said, "If you find this house, it's yours. If it's unoccupied, it's yours. We built it for you. Blessings," you know. And most of the time I can tell this, and sometimes I can tell it without crying, but sometimes it's still such an overwhelming sense of being there. And what I felt was, I knew that there was, this home was built out there in the middle of nowhere, and there were so many people coming in to an area. Now I know it's here, the Ozark Plateau somewhere. There were so many people coming in that we were building hundreds, thousands, maybe millions of these little homes, little underground homes, little hobbit homes, basically a hobbit home. And I was describing this to one guy one time, and I said, if it was invisible from above, and he goes, "Well, that makes sense." He goes, "You'd want it to be invisible from above with all the drones and stuff there's going to be out there." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, that, you know." So there was verification there. There's a reason for what I saw. I really believe that. I believe that for 20 years. Every 20 years, 23 years now, I've been trying to figure out, well, 2001 to 2023, I've been trying to figure out how to build that home. You know, how to build thousands, hundreds of them. Build one, for starters, 2, 10, 20, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, a million of them, you know. So anyway, it's going to happen. I believe it's going to happen. And so I want to start here and build a little underground shack, you know, like a little dugout. There's hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of videos on YouTube about people just going out in the woods and finding a, overturned tree, big huge root ball, building a little dugout.